show here. And guess, wait, okay, good, it's not muted. I recorded part 4 yesterday, but my mic was muted. Now, if you guys don't know what I mean by that, I don't have the standardized mic I can just clip onto my shirt. I used to use my gaming headset. So apparently I had it muted yesterday by accident. I was playing with my friends yesterday after recording part 3, and I recorded part 4, which is whenever I realized I muted my mic and had to go do something, and then I had to turn off my Xbox. It was a whole thing. So yeah, along with that, I also have actually been watching Hitman Reborn, except it's only on sub on Hulu, so I'm gonna go do that after I record this for probably an hour while I think about what can happen during the USJ attack. Now then, let us begin. Let us pick up directly after the entrance exam. Deku and Jiro are actually walking out after Deku got checked and looked at by Recovery Girl. She just gave him a bunch of medical gauze that he can stuff up his nose to stop the bleeding. Now then, they're actually walking towards Bakugo's area. I'm calling him Bakugo for the sake of this what if, because it would be confusing, since both their last name is Midoriya in this what if. So, Jiro and Deku are walking over, and they actually run into Bakugo somewhere around the halfway point. Deku actually asks Bakugo if he's okay and if anything happened, because he sees a lot of different scratches and scrapes on Bakugo. Bakugo says he's fine, it was just a challenge, but what the hell happened to you? As he basically sees Deku's shirt covered in blood and the gauze up his nose. He would just say that something happened and he actually had to take down the 0-pointer. Bakugo looks at him and says, "Okay, that's kind of funny. I actually had the same thing. That's actually how I met this one." As Ochako walks out from behind Bakugo saying hello, and they would give the explanation that she essentially got caught by the 0-pointer and Bakugo actually helped in. Well, he basically flew in and helped. Jiro would say that that's kind of weird because the same thing happened to her. Except, well, a bit differently. She was kind of being a little reckless and thought she can take that thing down by aiming for its leg, but the sound bounced off of a building. As she's actually somewhat embarrassed saying this. Now, afterwards, they would all introduce themselves, and Ochako would ask if these two are brothers, since they kind of look alike. In fact, their hair color is actually almost as similar. Now then, they would say yes, and they would all actually go their separate ways. Deku actually thinking about what to do, since his explosion was smaller than he thought. He thinks that now he can probably control how he minimizes the explosion, but that's going to be difficult. So he immediately goes to the store and buys some plates. Plastic plates. He taps on them and actually sees if he can control the size of the explosion. He's basically able to get it dumbed down to be about the point where it's somewhat like Bakugo throwing sparks into his hand. Basically, his quirk in its infancy, then he's actually able to boost it upward to the point where it's around the size where the 0-pointer exploded. So he's actually really happy about this, thinking now he's actually able to control it. That was going on between the week between him in the entrance exam and UA. Jesus, the dogs are barking. Anyways. Okay, that's not stopping. Hang on. Okay. Now then, they are all walking into UA after they all kind of met up by the entrance. They are walking in, and Deku's actually saying that he's actually gotten a lot better with his quirk. In fact, he thinks that he can. Well, he knows now that he might be confident in actually not wearing these anymore. Really, then why are you still wearing them? Well, it's kinda. Um, he uses it to protect other people. What? Yeah, sometimes he thinks that if he touches anything with all 5 fingers without wearing his gloves, one day the entire city might just. Oh, um, okay then. Yeah, he kinda does it out of habit now. It's not really his fault though. In fact, Mike works the same way. I thought I might have to get me a pair of those, but I just had to learn to control my temper. Well, you're doing a shitty job, Bakugo. As Bakugo actually turns to him smirking, saying, "You're not doing too bad either, nerd." Now, these two would walk into Class 1A, and people are staring at both of them. Ibarra actually walking up, asking if Jiro is okay after what happened last week, and let's say Ida actually asking if Ochako's okay after what happened. This kind of confuses people as they both look at each other thinking, wait, what happened in your guys' area? The exact same thing. Now, people are still kind of confused at that, and eventually Aizawa would walk in, and they would be told that they need to change into their PE uniforms. Now, afterwards, oh god, this dog will not stop. Anyways, afterwards, they change into their uniforms, and people are actually watching Deku take off all this weight and actually put it into a locker. People are asking how much is that exactly, because it's weird that he's wearing weight. Deku would say it's actually 225, which actually surprises a lot of people. They're thinking that this guy just walks around with that all the time. And people actually look at Bakugo as he puts his own weight down, and people see that he just dropped about. Let's see. Bakugo is competitive, so I want to say he probably dropped 240, 250 probably. And they're actually even more surprised at Bakugo, because he's basically carrying around another entire person, if not a person and a half. Now then, this is whenever they would go outside and Deku would be given the ball. He would just be told by Aizawa that he got the highest points in both the rescue category and the villain category. So he will be the first person to throw the ball and set the score for essentially the best. But first, don't use your quirk. Deku would just say okay as he cocks his arm back and throws the ball. Aizawa, thinking that one of those two explosive boys probably have one for all, so this shouldn't be very well. Well, this should not end very well. So Deku throws it without using his quirk. He gets around 300 to 400 meters. Then he's told to use his quirk, and Deku would just immediately cock his arm back, actually throwing the ball even further. After that, the ball goes flying through the air, and right before it loses momentum, the ball explodes, flying further. This confuses Aizawa because he just says that he told him to use his quirk. Deku would just say he did. His quirk is called remote detonation. It basically means whatever I touch, I can make explode. It's kind of why I wear these. And then they would go throughout the entire categories. Deku basically coming second place for speed, and someone being outdone by Bakugo with strength. Now, while that's going on, Mineta would be expelled, and he would actually be replaced by Shinsho. because Ibarra and Kendo are already in Class 1A. They're being told that they essentially did very well, so Mineta, pack your shit. Now then, let us continue. Okay, let us continue to the combat portion. Deku. Oh my god, the dog is not stop barking. Let us continue to the combat portion. Hang on, let me go check outside. Great, they're all barking now. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. I don't know why our dogs are barking. It is very annoying, because I don't know if you guys are either hearing that or it's being picked up by my microphone. So I'd probably sound crazy if it's not in there. Anyways, we own a lot of dogs, so I don't want you guys to hear that in the background while I'm talking. Now, the heroes versus villains. This is going to be a bit tricky. In fact, it was because my original idea was Deku having these little... They're barking again. If you guys have ever seen these little tickers, I believe they're called, for typewriters, how you press down on them and they move forward actually typing ink. Well, typing the letters on there in ink. I don't exactly know what they're called. But that might be a good close to what their actual name is, probably. But my first idea was having those that can just type down on his finger, and he basically can make a controlled explosion throughout his palm. My second idea, which actually made more sense, was Bakugo's basically his gloves. All 5 of Deku's fingers in the gloves, and he can fire the explosion throughout his palm. Basically, with the support item, he can turn his remote detonation, or remote explosive, into Bakugo's explosive quirk. But he can probably... I want to at least give him a thing where he can take off the finger parts to make fingerless gloves, so that he can actually still use his remote detonation. So I'm doing that too. Basically, he can pull something backwards on his wrist, revealing his fingertips, and pull it forward so that he can actually use the gauntlets. Now then, he also does have little things that he... Well, not little things, but... Since their quirk does still use that sweat ability, that basically is the foundation for Bakugo's, I also did want to give Deku the ability to store up basically bullets that he can coat in sweat and use to detonate. So that's also another thing I want to give him. Now my sister's bird is screaming. Great. Anyways, Deku, he'll have these, but Bakugo will have a bit of an updated hero costume. What do I mean by that? I found this picture that is very blurry. This is basically Deku's hero outfit. It's a bit more like Bakugo's, but it's more slimmed down and sleeker. Okay. This is starting to get annoying. I'm actually starting to be unable to record because of all these noises in our house. I can hear the conversation my mom's having downstairs, I can hear my sister's bird, and I can probably... No, our dogs have stopped. Anyways, this is Deku's hero costume. This is Bakugo's. This is actually from basically Quirk Fusions, I believe they're called. But Bakugo would have this brawler-style hero outfit, along with he would probably actually have weighted gauntlets and armbands going all the way up to the bend in his elbow. Basically to store up more sweat, to be a powerhouse. But he would also probably be able to show off more muscle. And I want to say he'd probably keep, No, No, I don't think Bakugo would do that. I was gonna say he'd probably keep like a baton or a tape. I just realized that that has 4 eyes. He'd probably keep like a taser or a thing like that in his like where the little dots are on his band. He'd probably keep something there, but that's not what I'm doing that. Anyways, people would actually see these two walk out and reveal these things. Deku, people see that he's actually made his costume for his agility and speed, while Bakugo made his for more of his fighting style. This is whenever it's announced that it is going to be Deku and Jiro versus Bakugo and Ochako, with Deku and Jiro being the villains. Now, they are told that they need to walk into the building and actually get their place set up. If not, then get things ready for the villains, the heroes. Oh my god, it's too noisy. So, Deku and Jiro would actually walk in. Deku actually walking in with his gloves still on. As he says this, well, as he's going into the building, as soon as he is able to close the door, he immediately just pulls up the thing, able to let his fingers breathe, and he begins touching different places around the building. Jiro's kind of confused, and then she realizes Deku's actually setting a trap. Which is whenever Jiro begins saying that, I can tell you as soon as they get close to that. Deku would say that that's going to be helpful, and in fact, I need you to tell me whenever they also pass these 2 pillars. Now, hang on. Well, now, please give me a minute, as he actually puts his back to the door and begins taking long strides. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pillar here, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he just begins setting basically remote explosives onto the support pillars, if not all the walls nearby. And let's say that he actually drags his fingers across the walls instead of the pillars. Well, the support pillars, because that would just bring the entire building down. So, Deku, he's actually booby-trapped the entire first floor. As soon as they are told that the heroes are going to be... Well, as soon as they are told they need to get into their place, Deku immediately just starts by saying, alright, as he tells Jiro they need to move now. She essentially immediately begins hovering and boosts herself all the way to the top floor. Deku sees this and he actually says, well, I've always wanted to give this a try, as he zips his things forward, making them cover his fingers. He actually puts his hands underneath him, actually causing an explosion. This actually sends him up in the air, and he's kind of confused, as he immediately starts going off balance and actually smashing the side of the staircase. He just gets back up thinking, okay, gotta work on that, as he just runs the rest of the way up. Now, he probably went up about 2 or 3 floors, so not that much of a time-saving effort. They would get to the top floor, and Jiro immediately plugs into the wall and starts listening. And the dogs are barking again. Anyways, this is all happening. Deku, he says, okay, just tell me when. Jiro says, okay, as she hears the door knob being turned, she says, now. Deku immediately just quick releases all of the explosives at the door, completely blowing it away. As soon as this happens, All Might's confused, saying that young Midoriya didn't move that fast. How did he even? As he sees Deku actually touching his fingers. All Might's thinking, booby traps. Okay, that's actually pretty tactical. But he can't... Did he honestly set booby traps the entire time? Their entire way up? Okay, that kid is actually pretty creative. As he says this, Bakugo, he actually somewhat shielded himself from the blast, as Ochako actually got blown away. Bakugo actually asked her if she's okay, and she would just say she'll be fine, she just needs to shake that off. Bakugo would just tell her that that's okay, but here, at least take one of these. As he hands her one of his sweat grenades. He tells her that, essentially, the only thing to counter another explosion is an explosion. So, as he actually crackles his arm, has explosions crack out of his hands, he says, "This is gonna be great." He immediately runs in, and he actually causes his own explosions going off, somewhat confusing Jiro as she looks back at Deku and immediately realizes this is Bakugo. Set him off. Bakugo immediately just outruns the explosives by flying with his own. As they go off, all that's left are the support beams, and Deku immediately just says that she should stay here and at least make sure Ochako doesn't get past him, or sneak past him. She would say that that's fine, but she would rather get into the action a bit more. Deku would just say, "I know, but let's be honest. Me and my brother are the only ones who have ever fought each other and actually outlasted one another. In fact, the closest person that I've ever fought and almost beat me is Kirishima. And that guy, he's got some pretty thick skin." Did you just crack a joke? Yes? Okay, you know what? You're dealing with him on your own. Okay, that's fair. Deku immediately runs in the stairwell, actually going down. He just thinks, okay, just jump over the railing and put your arms at 45 degrees and one directly underneath you. Deku immediately flings himself over, falling as he's thinking, okay, gotta do this. He would immediately set off the explosions and actually find his way into the corridor with Bakugo. I don't know if I should be on this picture or this one. Sticking with this one then. Anyways, Deku, he actually just thinks, okay, explosion versus explosion. Oh, this is not gonna end well. As he actually sees Bakugo, Bakugo actually sees him saying that he is not gonna enjoy this. In fact, he knows a flaw in Deku's quirk, not even he knows. Deku gets taken aback by this, saying, "What do you mean a flaw?" As Bakugo immediately rushes in, actually setting off one of his giant gauntlets. Now, as soon as he sets off the giant gauntlet, this is whenever Deku immediately just counters with his own explosion by setting off one of his, by setting off one of his own throughout his gauntlet. It's it's probably just as explosive, so it nearly brings down the entire floor. All Might would just say that due to how dangerous that was, they are not allowed to use their gauntlets anymore. In fact, if you two have brought down the entire building, the entire test would have been over. Now, All Might immediately just says this, and Deku actually does what he's seen Bakugo do a lot with his quirk. He actually just immediately flings himself in, actually punching Bakugo in the chest, and actually just slapping him in the face, as Bakugo is able to kick him in the stomach and actually knee him in the gut. Along with get a punch in, and these two get sent flying away from each other. Deku immediately tells Bakugo that, it's never good to let me get up close, or even around you. As he immediately brings his hands up, Bakugo sees his fingertips aren't covered. As he immediately looks around, realizing Deku didn't touch anything around him. Deku immediately sets off the explosion, and Bakugo explodes, flying backwards to the wall. As that's going on, Ochako actually tries to sneak attack Deku. Deku would see this, and he immediately turns his palms, actually blasting himself backwards. Ochako is confused by this because she thinks, wait, how is he using Bakugo's quirk? Oh shit. As Deku gets sent flying backwards, he actually just avoids her using the capture tape on him. Which is whenever Bakugo just thinks, crap, our plan didn't work. As he actually just takes off these giant weighted gauntlets, they smack onto the ground, and he starts running directly towards Deku. The reason why these are weighted is so that they can actually store up more sweat, and because of their bulkiness and their shape, the more sweat you contain in them, the heavier they get. So it's actually a very good idea. So Deku is actually thinking that this is gonna get annoying. As he immediately taps onto his comms saying that Jiro should get down here. He wasn't ready for both of them to just try and attack him. They're trying to capture him. Jiro immediately comes down, and she actually blasts Ochako with sound waves, actually making her fly directly into Bakugo. She just starts blasting sound waves at them, and Bakugo actually just counters by just throwing a giant explosion through her sound wave. While that's going on, Bakugo actually says that the only reason why I'm not using the gauntlets anymore is because All Might said we can't. But you know what that means? I can at least use one of these. As he pulls out a frag grenade, actually throwing it directly at Bakugo. Throwing it directly at Jiro, not Bakugo. Bakugo is the one throwing it. Jeez, this day's been very hectic. Now then, as he's throwing it at her, Deku immediately sees this, and he actually steps in front of her, putting his arms up, and blocking the blast. He gets actually sent flying backwards. Jiro immediately pulls the pin on the one Deku gave her, actually throwing it directly at Bakugo. Bakugo sees this, thinking, "Oh, come on! He's completely copying me." As Bakugo just gets hit by the explosion, this actually knocks Ochako out, and Bakugo is somewhat dazed, thinking now he has to deal with two of them. Jiro just says no, he doesn't, as she holds up Bakugo's arm with the capture tape. You know what that means? Villains win! Well, the villains weren't really supposed to use the capture tape, but it seems like they at least outsmarted the heroes. Now, you both did very well, but I have to give it to the heroes. Because you both used that explosive that nearly took down the entire building. Which was not a good idea. But, All Might, I have a question. What is it, young Gizu, or other Midoriya? Well, we're playing villains, right? Yes. So if we take down the building, doesn't that mean we do win? Villains don't really care about casualties or property damage. Well, I don't really think that's how it... But actually, I think that is true. Okay, well, I'm not getting into this with you guys, but it's just... The villains weren't supposed to win that way. Hang on, Mr. Nezu, can the villains win by using the capture tape? Anyone can win by using the capture tape. Okay, you guys do win. Anyway, guys, this part has been very hectic and very loud. So, I'm gonna wait until it dies down in our house to record again. So just know if I don't post in an hour, it is still very loud. Okay, I hope you guys did enjoy the video and have an amazing day.